Try to practice with it.
Man, since the last time we talked to you, what has been standing out about the secondary? And what kind of explain the progress you feel you guys might have made?
We just been putting in a lot of work with Coach Muschamp and Coach Fran. They've been working with us a lot on technique, learning how to play the ball better, basic things DBs have to do to be great. So, and that's all we're trying to do. We're trying to be great. So, we constantly working every day, and the work ain't gonna stop, man. It's gonna continue up into the season and throughout the season. So.
You probably have the best angle of anybody. We obviously had a chance to talk to Pop for the first time, better than we do. But, what's your view from the back of the defense of how Pop's doing and what kind of player you think is going to be there for the inside for you guys?
Yeah, Pop, man, he's an amazing person off the field. That's the first thing that steps out to me. He's very strong-minded, very smart. We have a lot of good communication on the field. If there's a mistake that's had, if we do it good, he always talks to me, and that's the main thing that steps out to me about Pop. Very smart, good at recognizing plays, and good at bringing others together, man. He comes with a lot of energy, and it's really great to have him on the defense for sure.
How important do you feel like he is for that room? I mean, the expectations of those guys that have to step up at inside linebacker.
Yeah, Pop is definitely a leader. He got some playing time last year, a lot of good experience, and he's helping bringing those other guys along, and they doing good themselves as well. Coach Shu does a good job with those guys, as he always has. Those guys are going to continue to be great like they always have. So.
Of course, you guys opened with Clemson on a neutral site game last year. Charlotte, this time it's Oregon and Atlanta. What do you think of having a game in Atlanta against Oregon? I mean, do you prefer to have a game at home versus that, or?
Well, it's gonna be nice for me personally because I'm from Atlanta, so I'm gonna be able to have a lot of my family and friends there. We're just looking to go out there and compete as best as we can. So, yes, sir.
We're about halfway through fall camp at this point. Just where do you feel like this secondary is right now, and what areas do you want to see the most improvement in the second half of camp?
We in a good spot. Like I said, Coach Fran and Coach Muschamp, they do a lot of work with us day in and day out, and we never feel like we've arrived. We can always get better. One of our mottos is either get better or worse, and one of my personal mottos is 1%. So we get 1% better every day. We getting closer to our goals. So.
We talked to you that first day of camp and asked about Malachi. What have you seen over these, 13 practices at this point?
Still the same things. Malachi, just like Pop, very strong-minded, very open and willing to learn, and very athletic, along with the rest of the freshmen that we have brought in. Like I said, Coach Muschamp is doing a good job with those guys, teaching them the ins and outs of the game, and they're coming along pretty well.
Do you still feel like Coach Smith back there, you're talking about that? I mean, there is a lot of young guys, so it's just about – no, you got to be here. You got to recognize this, that, and the other things.
Yeah,
getting past that.
Like I said, first day at camp. Those guys come to me with a lot of questions, and I try to help out best as I can. Malachi, Ja'Cory, Marcus Washington, even me and Dan. We try to do the best as we can to help bring those guys along because we know we're gonna need them at some point this season. So. Yes, sir.
With Marcus being even younger than the rest of that group, just how do you think he's handled this transition?
He's handling it pretty well, and like I say, Coach Muschamp, he does a lot of work with us. Like, I got to give Coach Muschamp a lot of pats on the back because, he does a great job with those guys, and myself included. And, he just works with us every day. He helps us recognize the game better. He helps us with our technique better. We get extra film time with him all the time. So he does a great job with those guys, and like I said, myself included.
Looking across the secondary, what have you seen out of Kamari and Nyland as they're really competing for that spot opposite of Keeley?
Like I said, both of those guys are doing a great job throughout this whole camp, and they competed very well. All our corners are competed very well, and Coach Fran, he does a good job with those guys, trying to bring them guys along as well. And it's going to be a lot of competition throughout the rest of this camp and throughout the season.
What's kind of Coach Muschamp style working with the safeties? Kind of what is he like back there with you guys every day?
Say it again.
I mean, the way what the Coach Muschamp's style as far as working with the safeties. I mean, does he shout a lot. I mean, just kind of what is he like working
It's
with
kind of a good mix, you know. Sometimes, you know, as players, you know, you got to have that good balance with the players, and I definitely say he has a good relationship with all of us. So when he does shout at us, it's not taken as like anything bad, and you know, he always lets us know he loves us, and it's coming from a good place. So even when he does shout, you know, it's not coming from a bad place. And, you know, I always try to hear the message, not the tone, and that's something that we always preach, because you know things get a little rough out there sometimes, and you know it's gonna be some shouting, you know, amongst players, amongst coaches, no matter what. So you know you just gotta hear the message and not the tone. But all things said, Coach Muschamp a great guy, you know.
So you have had some Coach Boom moments.
Coach
His
Boom?
nickname, Coach Boom. That's his nickname.
Oh, that's his nickname. I ain't heard about
Yeah,
that.
really?
I'm gonna tease him about that. I ain't heard of no Coach Boom.
He's known as Coach Boom because he
Yeah.
will go off. You know.
Yeah, we always see like old clips of him going crazy. You know, when he was at South Carolina, at Florida, we sent him to it. He always say he's matured since then. So I'm gonna tease him about that one for sure.
You mentioned Coach Fran. Now that you've had a little bit more time around him, just what are your impressions of him?
Coach Fran is one of the most real people I've ever met, you know, and like I said, he do a good job with us and building a good relationship with us ever since the first day he came in, you know, and like I said, he continuing to work with everybody on the team. He has good camaraderie with everybody on the team, you know, everybody respects him a lot, and you know, he does a good job of teaching the technique to the guys and the game plan to the guys, and you know, Coach Smart, he does a good job with him too, so.
If Muschamp's nickname is Coach Boom, what would Schumann's nickname be? I mean, what's his demeanor like?
I'll just call Shu gray sweats. Like Shu wears gray sweats every day, like these big gray sweats all the time. It's just, you know, that's why I call him Coach Gray Sweats, I guess, you know, because every time you see him, he got on some gray sweats and they extra big or whatever, you know. But that's his style, man. I can't crap him at all. So that's his style.
Have you guys managed to southernize Coach Fran any since he's been
No,
here at Georgia?
not at all. He's still got that northern accent and things like that. But that's one of the things I love about him. He brings a different element to the team. And, you know, everybody loves Coach Fran, and he's a very lovable guy. Got a great story, and like you said, he can continue to work with us every day.
You and Stetson are two of the older players on this team. Just going through this fall camp, what have you seen from Stetson as he's getting ready for the pro?
Stetson is amazingly smart. He does a good job with the offense and running the game plan that Coach Monken has put in with those guys. All the weapons we got on offense, he does a good job of getting those guys the ball, making the correct checks and things like that. So and he's gonna continue to do that. He's been that kind of player ever since he got here. So.
As y'all go into the second scrimmage, this weekend, what kind of improvements would you like to make from scrimmage 1 to scrimmage 2?
Just regular improvements that we always try to make. You know, improving on tackling and improving on playing the ball. You know, just as a defense as a whole, improving on getting the call, fast ball periods, things like that. We just try to work on everything and try to always improve. Like you say, we always gonna go to the doctor no matter what. So no matter what we do on Saturday, it's gonna be something to improve on. You know, we're not gonna have a perfect day at all, and we never gonna have a perfect day. So it's always gonna be something to work on. But you know, we always just try to build and try to be a complete defense as best as we can.
Going against this offense every day, what are the biggest differences you're seeing in this group right now as opposed to last year?
I wouldn't say there's very many differences because it's the same kind of offense, same kind of game plan. You know, we got great tight ends, great receivers, great running backs, great offensive line, great quarterback like we always had since I first got here. So, you know, it's pretty much the same, man. It's a battle every day, I'll say that. You know, it's very tough going against those guys, and they make it easy for us going into games, you know.
Yeah, those tight ends obviously are getting a lot of hype right now. Is that hype worthy, I guess, is what I'm trying to ask right now.
I definitely say those guys are very good, very athletic, and they're hard workers. And another coach that's very good for us, Coach Hartley. He does a good job with those group of guys, you know, teaching them the right way how to play football. So, yeah, I'll definitely say those guys are very good.
What's it like trying to tackle Darnell Washington in the open field? How do you go about doing it?
You just got to try to swarm him a little bit. You know, he's a very big guy, and you know, not often does the first person get him down every time. So, you know, we always try to, you know, I told these guys we got to get 11 heads to the ball when he has the ball. And, you know, like I said, Darnell, very hard worker, very talented, very athletic, very strong-minded person, and he get that from his coach. You know?
How do you all try to guard those tight ends in team drills, or do you try? Or because I mean you're not going to face any offenses
Mm-hmm.
that look like that.
Yeah, I mean, they all have different skill sets. So, you know, our coaches always try to help with us, teach us how to guard certain players in different ways, you know, even out to the receivers and down to the tight ends, down to the running backs. They all have different skill sets. So, you know, you just have to approach each player a little bit differently.
Is it a little bit of a preview of what defenses are going to have to try to do to match up with guys with Darnell and Eric, Brock's skill sets?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, those are great players, and you know, it's definitely gonna be tough. But you know, we're gonna see when the season starts.
How important is the second scrimmage in terms of setting the tone for the rest of the run up to that first game?
It's very important, you know. It just gives us a chance to go out here and see what we're working with, and you know, second scrimmage is not where it stops at though. We still have a whole 2 weeks before the game, and we're gonna continue to improve.
Are y'all at the point now where you're ready to play somebody else? You know, I mean, you've been playing each other going all the way back to spring, 7-7, everything else.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy playing against our offense personally. You know, I feel like they make me the best I could be every day, and you know, the first game is a little bit down the road, and we'll look towards that way when it gets here.
You mentioned being from Atlanta. Do you have any idea how many family, friends are going to be there for that game?
No idea. My mom and dad handles a lot of those things, but I expect to have a good crowd there, and I can't wait to see those guys there. It's going to be a special moment for me.
In regards to the safeties, a lot of people like to talk about Malachi Starks and Ja'Cory Thomas because there's new faces in the room.
Mm-hmm.
But could you give some detail and insight on names like David Daniel and how Tyke Smith's coming along?
Those guys are coming along very well. You know, in the safety room, we got a very tight-knit group, and we do a lot of hard work, you know. And like I say, Coach Boone been getting us right. So he been getting us right daily. So, you know, we just going to continue to work hard.
Appreciate it.
What's the biggest difference in your game today versus a year ago? Heading into the season last year.
I'll say probably my leadership and the way that I process the game and take things in. You know, any type of experience you can get an extra year in terms of you know, learning how to play and things like that. It helps you out a lot. So my leadership and the way I take in the game, it's a lot different than last year, and I think it's going to help me out.
Has it slowed down a little bit? Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah. I never used to believe when people say the game gonna slow down once you used to get in there, once you get in there and get in the swing of things. But you know, that experience is definitely important, man, and it's helped me out so much. So I'm appreciative of that.
You played pretty banged up a good bit last year. Are you healthy? You feel better health-wise?
Yes, sir. I'm fine. You know, I did play a little banged up last year, and I just had to push through. You know, that's the kind of guy I am. Pride myself on being tough, and I don't want to let my team down at all. And I don't plan on doing that this year. So.
We got two more questions, please.
Chris, JT obviously started last year, and Stetson came in. What do you guys have behind Stetson this year? If he goes down, you know, how are the backups?
We got a good group. We got Garner, we got Carson, we got Brock Vandegrift, and all those guys have played very well throughout camp. So, yeah, we got a good group behind Stetson for sure.
Pop said that the linebackers are really emphasizing punching the ball out and forcing turnovers. What are the DBs really focusing on?
The whole team is focusing on getting punch outs for sure. You know, Coach Shu definitely presses that to us every day, and we just want to create havoc. You know, our definition of havoc is the percentage of plays we get a TFL, PBU, or interception, or forced fumble, and our goal is 20%. You know, that's what we're striving, 20% or better each day. So, you know, if we bring that up, we show our happy rate each day. And, you know, we don't meet that goal. They let us know that we didn't meet that standard. And, you know, all we are about here is the standard. So, you know, we just try to meet the standard every day.
Thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
All right.